Show with Irish. Show with Irish. Show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison! I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing! Doing a damn thing! The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. Starting to feel a little bit more springy outside. That's good. I see some people commenting on how many times I'm going to have to blow my nose on a Monday morning. I think we're starting to come out of that. It only took like 8 weeks. So we're doing pretty good. It only took me like 8 weeks to start to be able to breathe. So that's good news. There's a couple funny comments about it. So thank you very much. Welcome in on a Monday. I always try and ease into a Monday episode. It's Monday. It's 9 a.m. Sometimes I try and tone the Johnniness down a little bit for you guys, at least in the beginning, so you can ease into your day a little bit, into your week. So thank you for being here. Good to see the normal crowd, man. Jason Smith, Steven Arado, Rudy's in here. Connor Nepper, what's going on? The drunk is in here. Dr. John's in here. Tom Frawley's here up in Chicago. He's here. It's good to see everybody. And we got a couple fun things to go over today. I'm going to make you guys feel better about the future of Notre Dame football. That's what I decided I'm going to do. I have been speaking about a lot of things that I have some anxiety about with the new game and where Notre Dame fits in it and all these changes and adaptability for Notre Dame quick enough and all of this stuff. I'm going to make you guys feel a little better about where this is all headed from Notre Dame with some evidence to do so, to back up why I feel that way. You can agree, you could disagree, whatever, but I'm going to at least put forth a little bit of evidence that should make you guys feel kind of pretty good about where things are going for Notre Dame. And I feel obligated to do that because if I'm going to sit here for like a week, and there was that one day you guys could tell I was like not quite myself, and I was a little down about what was going on. I want to balance that out on the other side and provide you guys some evidence that makes me feel pretty good about the future and that Notre Dame's kind of going to be in a decent place wherever we kind of have to shift to moving forward, or maybe not. So that's kind of what's going to go on here. And so let's get into it here. And I got a Notre Dame combine complaint. And it's the most Notre Damiest complaint you could have. I would like to know if anybody in the chat can predict my complaint. I think it's pretty obvious, but I do have something that frustrated me with this combine and the Notre Dame part of it. And I'm probably going to yell about it because it's beyond frustrating. So I want to know if any of you can guess what that item is about the combine I've lost patience for and I'm done with. Jay Carr, you just nailed it. So you just literally, it just came out of my mouth and then Jay Carr nailed it. So we will get there because I ain't happy about it. So we got to have a serious talk about what's going on. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it. Speaking of subscribing, Jay Carr, you nailed it. I have no patience. I'm done. I'm done. I'm so done with it. We'll get to it, but I'm done with it. Remember when I said 3 minutes ago we were going to ease in on a Monday morning? Oh my gosh. The things that make me mad sometimes, I know they shouldn't, but they just do. Speaking of subscribers, I was going to say, had a really good time joining the Ohio podcast. Eric Boggs, his crew, joined them last night. We had some good back and forth. It's interesting when you're talking to an Ohio State podcast because we're fully aligned. We're fully aligned on the dislike for Michigan and all of that. Like, we're all on the same side of the fence there, all of us, like the exact same, like vitriol for all things Michigan. So it's weird when you join an Ohio State podcast and there's like 4 of them and then me, and we're all on the same side when we talk about that. And then in all the other stuff, we're not. It's the funniest thing how there's like that overlap where we're on the same team, and then anything else, we're not. It's wild. But some people joined and jumped on board after they saw me there. Really appreciate that. So I had a good time last night. And when you're done with these videos, go check that one out. So we had a good time, good Sunday night discussion. So thank you for subscribing. Give it a thumbs up, notifications on that way you alerted every time. Yeah, you love the Buckeyes. The only sense that I love the Buckeyes is if they are serving their role to block Michigan from achieving anything big. Right? Like, I will admit, the only time I'm a fan of Ohio State is if they're in the position to block Michigan from achieving their goal. And that's why I've been so frustrated with Ohio State for not doing their job the right way and letting Michigan get by them. They're the last train stop that stops Michigan from making me lose my hair. And when they don't do it, then I get mad. Look at this. Cheesy Pete's. 7 minutes in on a Monday, and look at what I'm dealing with. Seriously. 7 minutes in on a Monday, and this is what I get from Crying Belly. Go figure. John loves losing to the Buckeyes. That's why he's always loving on free pass and making excuses, bro. Like, nothing I just said had anything to do with free pass. I wasn't even talking about him. 7 minutes in, and this is what I get on a Monday. You know what? Maybe I'll bring this up to the group. People were asking about Notre Dame and Purdue. When I say people, I mean the people on the Ohio show. There's like a round table with different people asking questions. And something came up from a chatter or whatever about Notre Dame and Purdue and all this stuff. And what do you think about Purdue was asked to me. And my answer was, I don't. And that, like, they were surprised by that. I don't, in the list of all the teams that I'm mad about or hate or want to see lose or really need Notre Dame to beat to prove a point, whatever, I got to go 200 schools before I get to Purdue. They were a little surprised by that. They were like, what do you think of Purdue? I don't. I will when we play them, but they're not top of mind rival. Like, I have a ton of anger for. If the most mad I get is their stupid drum, that doesn't register to me. And I don't, just because they're right down the toll road doesn't mean that they mean more to me or that I have like that anger or whatever. I just don't. But Tom's right. Some of that's my age. I did not have like prime Notre Dame Purdue rivalries growing up, except for Drew Brees beating the crap out of us. But like, that was never a huge thing to me. So they were a little surprised, but I was like, I just don't think about Purdue, man. I have 50 other teams I have personal animosity towards way before I get to Purdue. Like, so I don't know, man. Yeah, Kyle Orton. Wow, there's a throwback. So I don't know about that. Anyways, let me get through the introduction. Jeez. Thumbs up, notifications on Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish. Ooh, I got to test the gravel here, see if I can work it up. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it. You can get it. The call-in lines. You know them. 312-900-8815. You dialed up. Tell Yanni Boy all you've heard and seen. We got one call already, 618. I'll get to you after my first little segment here. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc., USA Today, Fighting Irish, where I read all about it. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Former captain, leading tackler Mike Goolsby, and myself. We have a good time back there, man. I did something unique Saturday night, and you guys got a piece of it Sunday on YouTube. I built a little second set in the other part of the basement, more casual, a little more relaxed, a little more homely, not as kind of I don't know, just more of a natural feel. And I just did like a free association Notre Dame thing. I thought I would go like 7 or 8 minutes talking about one or two things, and it went 33 minutes. So, that was kind of fun in a different setting. And so that'll come out, the full thing. I think it already came out on Patreon. I just can't. Purdue is just an afterthought to me. And yes, I was born right down the road from them. The geographic thing just doesn't matter as much when you're Notre Dame and you're independent. And it's not the geographic. It's just not a huge deal to me. Being like, oh, I drove down the toll road and I saw the exit for West Lafayette and now I'm mad at Purdue. I just don't. I don't care. You have a big dumb drum and nobody cares about you, and then we play you once every while. I don't know what else to say. I told the Ohio State guys, the most I ever appreciated Purdue was that Thursday night where they beat the heck out of Ohio State. How long ago was that? I remember it was a long time ago. I lived in the old house. I can remember that room I was watching it in. It was a Thursday night, and they ran wild, I think, and they just went nuts. And then that little fast guy that was running all over people. That's the last I remember of Purdue. That stupid drum. Last time we played them, I took all sorts of heat from these dorks at Purdue because I said, keep your stupid drum in West Lafayette. Do you remember that when they made a big deal because they couldn't get their dumb drum through the tunnel? And we told them, you ain't using our big tunnel. You're using that mini tunnel that we built off the side that only one guy can fit through. And if your drum can't fit through it, it ain't coming through it. Oh, John, that's mean. You should let the other team come in and do all that. No, bro. If you can't fit it through the mini tunnel, leave it in West Lafayette. And I was proud of Notre Dame for being that petty. Usually Notre Dame lays down and just lets whoever do whatever. I was glad Notre Dame said, we're not doing that. Keep your stupid drum at home or shrink it to be a normal size. Anyways, that episode was legendary. Man, the Purdue people were mad. I didn't even know there were Purdue people. But I was getting emails. Oh my gosh, you don't represent Notre Dame. You should be welcoming. Ooh. No, bro, you're in our place. If you can't fit your drum through your stupid tunnel, leave it outside in the parking lot. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, I would much rather, if you want to talk about like anything local rivalry, whatever, whip up Michigan State, Notre Dame again. Not now, but that used to be an unbelievable rivalry in the old days. And then the not so old days with D'Antoni. Those were some physical, tough Notre Dame, Michigan State games through my childhood and 20s and whatever. That was a great physical game every time. You knew it was just going to be well played, pretty clean and physical. And also not a lot of good offense from both sides. Let's just be honest. Purdue Twitter can be very toxic. They might be small, but man, they are vocal. Well, all that is, Ohio Pod, is we know we're fans of Purdue and we need to lash out because nobody gives us a thought. I think that's like a lack of relevance when you want to be, but there's no reason to be, but you're frustrated with your lot in life and you're mad at Ohio State for having the big profile they do in Notre Dame or whatever. I think there's like little man syndrome with Purdue because it's Purdue and nobody cares. Sorry. There's not like, in what world does Purdue move the needle for anybody ever? Like, I'm sorry. I don't understand why Purdue moves no needle at all, unless you're talking about an engineering test. I don't understand. So I just don't. Yeah, they're great in engineering. Well, that's cool. Next time I want to engineer something, I'll call the Purdue drum guy. But in terms of football, don't matter. And of course, we play them this year. So now I'm on the record running my mouth. You better go beat the hell out of them. That's the other thing, because now I'm on the record. So you better you better take care of business while I'm sitting here ripping on Purdue this year, by the way. Oh, John, did you like Faison's goal yesterday from the cross game? I like whatever else that guy's doing as long as he's healthy and it doesn't affect football. Let's be honest. I'm sorry, but my priority is 100% football, 0% what happens in lacrosse. As long as he's healthy and running around and being fulfilled, go for it. Just keep the guy healthy, because he went from walk-on nobody's heard of to the best receiver on Notre Dame the second half of the year off the practice squad. Yeah, that's a real sentence. That's really something that happened at Notre Dame, and it is really embarrassing. Let me be clear. Just because we love Faison on the football team and all that he does and the wiggle and getting open and the little it factory, just because we're happy we found all that doesn't mean that it's okay how we found all that. Are you following me? Do I make perfect sense? We love the Faison experience and what that's all going to be and look like. And I do too. I love it. I'm glad we found him. Two things can be true at once. It's awesome that we found him, and it's humiliating how we found him. If you had a representative, real wide receiver room with depth and appropriate talent, that guy probably isn't on the field. So both can be true at once. Really glad we found him. Embarrassing how we had to. Both of those are true. How did Notre Dame miss out on Catholic High School League, Mike Allstott? Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Who's calling me when I'm going live? Everybody should know by now not to do that. Dr. John, what's Purdue University's claim to fame? A big circle drum. To me, a big circle drum. Yeah, thoughts and prayers to the fencing player's family. I saw that news and I'm not sure what happened, and it's none of my business, but that's where your natural human curiosity goes when somebody passes away and you know it's before their natural time. I have no idea on that, but I did see that news. So thoughts and prayers to that team and the Notre Dame community and that kid. And so Adam says Neil Armstrong. Well, that's cool. Then maybe you could shoot Neil Armstrong to the moon and drop the drum off the moon and have it fall right into Notre Dame Stadium. And then we don't have to worry about the stupid tunnel. How about that? Everybody happy now? That's what we'll do. We'll strap the big drum on the back of a rocket. And then when they go up, we can drop the drum off and it can just come right down. And it could just drop right on the sideline in a big parachute. I don't know. Car accident. That's terrible. Yeah, Craig here is a boiler. Craig, I'm making fun of Purdue. I'm saying that they don't matter anymore in football. Sorry. I don't know. I don't even look at them as like a little brother. That's the other thing. It's like, oh, is it little brother in the state of Indiana? No, I literally just don't think of Purdue. The last time I thought about Purdue football was the last time we played them and I covered them. Other than that, you just don't think about Purdue. I think about Michigan. I think about Ohio State. I even think about Swamp Thing. I think about USC. I think about playing Florida State this year. I think about Texas A&M for obvious reasons. Nobody thinks about Purdue until you have to. Sorry. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Good win by the ladies, by the way. Yesterday, good win by them. Listen, I take heat sometimes for not 618. I'm going to pull you up in a minute. I take heat sometimes getting asked why I don't get more serious about the other sports at Notre Dame. I genuinely mean this. I'd be dead if I did that. There's just no way, you guys. You see the way I am with football. There's no chance at all I could be anything close to that with basketball or any of the other sport. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I will not be able to survive that. Some of you live and die the way you do with football with every sport, and I respect it. And I'm telling you, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. It's too much. It's too much stress. It's just like the Bears. There's just no way There's no way in the world that I could possibly care about the Bears anything close to the way I care about Notre Dame, or I'd be a goner 20 years ago. Do you know how many Saturdays, Sundays of back-to-back misery of awful, inappropriate, not competitive football I would have seen if I lived and died with the Bears the way I do Notre Dame? And you had all those Saturdays of failure rolling into Sundays of failure, and that's your weekend. That's supposed to be your break in your life. There's no way I could survive that. There's no way it could happen. It just couldn't happen. I wouldn't be able to live it. So I just can't do it. So I'm supportive of those teams, and when they're on, I watch, but it's like I don't live and die with it because I would have already been gone. The Chicago Bears are a disease. I got something about them on this list too. Ties into college football directly. So let's do 618, see what's up with him this morning. And then I want to go over a couple of combine things. I want to yell about something, and then I'm going to make you feel better about Notre Dame football. Let's see what 618 thinks on a Monday, though. First up, what's going on, man? Welcome. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Hey, it looked like it was a good overall day for the Irish, for the guys that, you know what I'm saying, the Irish guys at the combine.
Yeah, hey,
over the weekend.
What surprised you from that, or what were your big takeaways with Notre Dame there? What were you looking for? Did you think anything surprise you with the Notre Dame guys?
Nah, nothing surprised me with the Notre Dame. I mean, except for Hartman. Hartman balls looked good that was coming out, you know, when I was watching. I'm like, man, he's throwing some pretty balls. Where was these at all season?
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you make of it, man? Alt? I saw that Alt ran like the fastest 40 for an offensive tackle in like multiple years or whatever. The big man keeping it moving at 6'8", 320 or whatever he was. My man was scooting, baby.
Yeah, 507. I was like, man.
Yeah. That's a big man to get moving. And you know what I've heard about him? I was reading up on some of this. Some of the concern with Alt, it isn't like how good is he or whatever. It's literally some people don't like a tackle that's 6'8" because it's almost too tall to get down to get the leverage you need because he's just so tall. Like, I mean, it's an unbelievable knock on a guy where size is a big part of being good at the position, man. Is he too tall? I don't know.
I mean, it depends on your quarterback, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he's going to be all right. He's got great technique.
Yeah. Let me switch it on you a little bit, man. I don't think I talked to you late last week when I was covering the Notre Dame news. Do you think there's any chance Notre Dame ends up in the Big Ten in a few years, just by any reason? No. You think you think they can hold out here and the money's going to be okay, and you don't have any of those worries?
Man, the only way I see Notre Dame going to the Big Ten is if they start, you know, something that they're trying to do right now. You know, they went to 12 teams and they say, hey, Notre Dame, you can't be no higher than the 5 seed. And then if they go to something where all the conferences come together and they have this super conference and they say, hey, Notre Dame don't want to join the conference, they won't make the playoffs either.
Yeah.
And then I start seeing that Notre Dame say, hey, maybe we need to go to the table.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't see Notre Dame just bound down to the Big Ten or the money.
Yeah, it's and again, as long as that money's in the ballpark and you have reasonable playoff access we can all live with, then there's really not a reason. And right now, that's the situation, I guess. So it's good to have a backup plan, I guess. And I want to see how Notre Dame does in the new format, man. I really want to see how Notre Dame thrives or what happens in the new format. It's really, really interesting. I can't wait to see it. It's got to be this year.
I think if Notre Dame go out and win the national championship this year, then they'll figure out a wiggle their way around and saying that, hey, let's just make this super conference and make sure that Notre Dame don't get in unless they join the conference. I mean, Notre Dame has never been about sharing the money. You know,
yeah,
they never had to share the money. So, you know, everybody else got to share their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, man. I just, if I don't see the powers that be playing hardball with Notre Dame. Like they don't. Like everybody, what if everybody else in that playoff group deciding things said, we're all going to get together and tell Notre Dame if they're not in a conference and playing that title conference game, they're just not eligible. And everybody else outnumbers Notre Dame and they all agree and build a big wall. I just don't see that happening because people play nice with Notre Dame because any value with Notre Dame adds is a big value for everybody. And I don't see them playing Notre Dame that tough. Do you? Like really putting that, really putting that ultimatum up of if you don't do this fully, you're not in the playoff. It just seems like they don't want to push Notre Dame that far.
And being in the conference, I mean, you know, even though it looked like the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the Georgias, they recruit nationally, but Notre Dame is it's a global brand. So, So, you know what I mean? Honest to God, truth, I mean, outside of Alabama for real, and you're being from Alabama, who really cheers hard for Alabama?
Yeah.
Outside of being out of Athens, Georgia, or the state of Georgia, who really cheers for, who really go hard for Georgia?
Yeah.
Who really go hard for Ohio State besides the Ohio people? Man, I don't see, they're not global brands. Notre Dame is a global brand. Notre Dame got fans all over the world.
Yep. And that's a big reason I think they do play nice and give Notre Dame a seat there. I mean, they could play hardball with them if they really wanted to. It just doesn't seem like they want to. Ohio's podcast says, if you listen to Purdue fans, they are a global brand as well. Yeah, for engineering, for school, I'll give you credit. They are a known brand, and it has nothing to do with sports. It has to do with their engineering degree credibility. So congratulations. They are a national brand for engineering, smart person stuff that I don't know nothing about there.
Yeah, and I just think that Notre Dame is the biggest brand. Man, Notre Dame is like the Yankees of college football. No matter what anybody want to say, everybody that love baseball hates the Yankees, and everybody everybody that love college football hates Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You either love them or you hate it.
Yep. And again, man, that's why it was so funny the other week when everybody was on ESPN and on Twitter saying Notre Dame's irrelevant, but the fact that they were speaking about Notre Dame proves their relevance. It's literally hilarious. Everybody saying that is furthering Notre Dame's relevance, because if they were really irrelevant, which means out of sight, out of mind, never even come up, you don't need to say anything. So people bringing it up reaffirms that it's not true. It's the biggest irony going. It's wild.
Notre Dame is the only college football team that win, whether they're 0-12 or they're 12-0. They're going to be on TV every single week.
Yeah. Yep.
Every single week. So if they're not relevant, BSPN will be begging. Why they're begging for to do road games for Notre Dame on ABC and BSPN?
Yeah.
Why is Fox fighting over Notre Dame games, their road games?
Yeah.
All them brands are fighting over Notre Dame. They're not fighting over Ohio State. They're not fighting over Alabama because they have to sign contracts with the Big Ten, and they don't get the opportunity to have their games on every single week.
Yeah.
If Ohio State is playing Miami of Ohio, they're not on TV.
Yeah. It's I don't know, man. Notre Dame's in a unique position here, and I need to see them plant the flag early in the new playoff format, show that they can hang, show that they're going to have a spot. Like, this is the year for it. It's got to happen. And so I don't know, man.
The only thing I need to know about the new playoff format is that if Notre Dame, let's say Notre Dame is ranked in the top 3, but they only get a 5 seed, and then they play a conference champion, they got to buy a conference champion that's like 9-3, who got an automatic bid. Do Notre Dame get the home game, or do they have to go to the away game?
Well, let's think about that. Because it all depends on the seeding, right? Because if we're 5 through 8, you get to host. So Notre Dame's got to be 5 through 8. So it's going to depend on that seeding.
Let's just say Notre Dame get the 5th seed, but they have a team that got to bye because they've got an automatic bid from their conference championship game.
Wait, but we wouldn't play that because that would be the next round at a neutral site, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking so.
Yeah, that would be, if that's what you're asking, if we won a home game and then play one of the teams with the buys, it goes to a neutral site for round 2. If that's what you're asking, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's what I wanted to know. Like, but then I'm not scared of that. I mean, on the neutral site, we could possibly beat anybody.
Yeah.
There's like at a Yankees.
Yeah, exactly. So only that first round, I believe, is on campuses. Then the traditional bowl game names kick in, and it bounces over to that. Yeah, and somebody's saying they want neutral site to be Indianapolis. That would be quite friendly for Notre Dame, by the way, if they did it geographically. Yeah, give me that neutral site in Indy at that dome, and I'll take that. I like that.
Do away with these. To me, man, do away with these bowl games, man. Now you got a real true college playoff. You don't need the bowl games. You say, hey, this is this region, Indianapolis. You have this region up northeast. You have this region in the southeast. You have this region in the west.
But isn't that what they're doing?
In the south,
isn't that
northeast.
But isn't that what they're doing? And then they're just making the bowl names that matchup. Like, I think that's what they're doing to be able to use the traditional bowl names. They're just doing that for the rotation of the playoff games, calling those what we consider the bowls, I guess. That's the plan as far as I understand it. I don't know.
If it was up to me, it'd be Midwest, West, South, and North. And that'd be the easiest way to do it. And you don't have to use the bowl name. You put the Midwest you either put it in somewhere in Illinois, like Chicago, or you put it in Indianapolis, rotated every other year for the Midwest region.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if that news has come out yet. That's a really great question. I don't know if they've announced the locations for those second round games yet, or if that is undecided or still to come. And is it geographically based? I have a lot of questions about that I don't know the answer to yet. Good question.
And if it's in Chicago, or somewhere like that, man, and a South team have to come and play Notre Dame 1 week in South Bend, and then a team from out west have to, somewhere from like a USC or something have to get a rematch in Chicago or somewhere, man. Notre Dame should easily make the final.
Oh, man.
Should easily make the
baby, man, it's going to be an interesting ride. I really hope Notre Dame can make a run this year. It'd be so fun. Win a couple games at least. Get deep in this thing. Let everybody know you're here and serious. It would be great, man. Hey, before spring ball gets started, what are a couple of the biggest things you're looking to see this spring? It's never too early to think about that. I want to know what's the top couple things on your list you want to see this spring.
The offensive line, the interior, and the tackles.
Yep.
Even though they did a great job against Oregon State, but that was a depleted Oregon State team.
Yep.
I also want to see the quarterbacks. I mean, we know that Riley Leonard is probably going to start. Can he stay healthy the whole year? We'll see. Only time will tell. But I want to see like the second string. I'm pulling for Minty. That's who I'm really pulling for because nobody is talking about Minty.
Yeah, but nope, I'm with you, man. You just nailed a couple things on my list. That offensive line and their development, I have some anxiety there because for all the excitement of the new offense and Denbrock and Riley Leonard can run and all this stuff we like, if the offensive line isn't good enough, it's going to put a cap on all of that offensive potential, and that sucks. And so that's on my list. And then the quarterbacks, man, I got 4 of them, and I genuinely want to see all 4 of them. I don't know how you spread out the reps. To be fair, I have 4 quarterbacks here I want to see more of, each of them for different reasons.
I think what you need to do with Carr is just sit back, let him develop.
Yep, that'll be the plan.
I wonder did Minty redshirt last year, so that'll give him an extra year. So, you know what I mean? I'm really pulling for Minty because everybody is talking about Carr, and everybody is talking about they're talking about Carr and they're talking about
Steve.
Angeli.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm pulling for Minchie, because I think Minchie, he might have the most talented arm. His arm talent might be better than all four quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a big, you got to keep in mind and be honest about it in your Notre Dame fan mind. If we get through spring and Minchie's third string, does he stay or does he leave after spring like Buckner did last year and look for somewhere where he could compete to get on the field? Like, that's a big part of this. Whoever loses the backup duty, is he going to stay around? That is a big, big question this spring.
Man, I like Angeli, but man, I like Minchie just that much more. If Angeli leaves, then I'll be like, man, I understand why Angeli leaves. He'll be a junior. He'll be a true junior this year. And he never got an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
They brought in Hartman one year, and then they brought in Riley the next year. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, it's gonna be,
man, I feel bad for whoever comes out of this as the third string, because even if you stick around for the next year to try to fight for the job, and they say we're not going back to the portal, now you basically got Jim Brock type of quarterback coming in, which is nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. Nice. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. I do think
it doesn't get any easier because of,
yeah.
I mean, I've been around that college atmosphere, and when it comes down to these type of players, and man, the one that they like the most is the one that they tend to usually get the most reps.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. You're right. So those are on my list. Defensively, I want to see what they settle at linebacker. I feel like you kind of know most of what you're going to get up front and on the back. And I feel
linebackers going to be nasty.
Yeah. I want to see what they do. I want to see what they do there for sure.
You got too much talent at linebacker, man.
Well, you need to line it up the right way with the right blend of whatever you could do. I'm excited to see it, but I don't know how that's going to work out. So we'll see, my friend.
Kingston going to start.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Kingston going to. Well, it won't be no surprise to me, man. But I think Kingston going to start. I actually, I didn't get the chance a couple years ago when my son was at East St. Louis. They got the chance when they went out and played. I forgot what school he went to, but they played that school, and he didn't get a chance to play. But man, that team was stacked from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's man, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting spring for Notre Dame. There's a lot to look at. There's some higher end possibilities here. Finally, somebody else calling me on the live show again. Who keeps calling me on my phone when I'm live on the internet? Anyway, sorry about that beep.
The last thing I wanted to say is, man, is like about that playoff. Go back to the playoff. Is what they trying to do to Notre Dame. Trying to get like six teams from the Big Ten automatic bids and 6 teams from the SEC automatic bids, which only leave 2 spots if they do a 14-team playoff.
They were talking about wanting 4 each. They were talking about wanting 4 each. It's just typical negotiation stuff where you start really, really high to put the high number in people's minds, I think, and then they come down. I don't think they could agree to 4. Where is this all headed? A 30-team playoff? What are we doing?
The conference, okay, fine. But Notre Dame has bent over backwards. Well, Swarbrick bent over backwards and gave them what they wanted for the 12-team playoff. Hey, look, we'll take the 5 seed. 5 seed and lower. We will not take nothing higher than a 5 seed. We don't even want to buy, which actually turns out better for Notre Dame because you might get a lower seed in the second round. But man, it's I don't like what they're trying to do to Notre Dame. And that's the only way I can see Notre Dame is actually joins a conference, which, man, if they could keep the ACC attacked and keep Florida State hey, man, look, we'll give you the most amount of money you need to stay. I can see Notre Dame joining the ACC instead.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be wild. And also, when you're thinking about Notre Dame in the Big Ten, you also have to keep in mind what happens with the ACC has something to do with that. Like if the ACC falls apart or loses their best teams or whatever, what does that do? So there's just a lot
That's the only way.
There's a lot to monitor.
That's another scenario, John. That's another scenario where I see Notre Dame say, "Hey, man, we don't want to do it, but
yeah,
look like we possibility gonna have to do it because it seems like the SEC and the Big Ten are trying to suck up every conference that they can suck up to keep us out of it. So maybe we need to ditch the independent and go Big Ten. I mean, I think if they go into the Big Ten this year, they'd probably be the second best Big Ten school, Ten team in the Big Ten.
It's going to be really interesting to see Oregon in that mix, where USC falls, how Washington hangs in there. Like
I don't see
it's going to be interesting.
The thing is, man, I can't see the Western teams except for like the SC keeping up in the Big Ten with Ohio State and Michigan.
It's going to be, I don't know. I think almost, what if you don't think Oregon has just as good a shot, if not more than USC, to be really good in the Big Ten? The way Oregon's been built lately, I could see them, and they're a more well-rounded team than USC is. I'm interested to see how they do.
Because of the recruiting. Unless they just getting like these outstanding players every single year, you're going to start to see like where the portal start to die down in the next few years, where like everybody ain't jumping to everywhere because they're going to see people that's been in the portal that was 5 stars, been in the portal for 2-3 years, and they going to just say bump it, man. So ain't no reason to jump in the portal.
I don't know, man. There's just a lot to keep tabs on, and we're just going to have to see how it all comes together, man. Hey, thanks for giving me a call on a Monday morning. I appreciate you.
No problem, John.
Have a good one, buddy. Take care. Man, that dude's always got thoughts. Adam says, obviously Purdue is relevant because Always Irish won't stop talking about them. I did not bring Purdue up. No one brings Purdue up. I did not bring Purdue up. I got asked the question about Purdue. Don't act like I brought Purdue up. The last time Purdue was in my mind was when I was getting mad about that stupid drum. It had nothing to do about the game even. The game was boring, and I was glad I had the drum to talk about, to yell about, because the game was maybe it's my age, but there's zero part of me that's like, oh my gosh, Purdue's on the schedule. Let's get all worked up just because they're in the same state. It just doesn't work that way for me. And I'm a guy that is looking for a reason to be mad about something. Like when you ask me about my football likes and dislikes and all this stuff I yell about and all that, like I am not a guy who lacks reasons to go after people. The drum, man, that's about all I got is the drum. We got a little super chat here on a Monday. $2 holla. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that. It'll go right on the old phone tab here. Look at this. Johnny is an RKG. Oh, that's offensive. Like, you're right, but it hurts my feelings, right? Because when I hear RKG, Kelly started using that as a code for non-elite athlete, not a lot of stars in the recruiting ranking, but he's a Notre Dame type of guy, meaning just like, usually that means skinny, small, white dude like John that loves Notre Dame. That's what RKG means to me. Not highly recruited, not high on the stars, but by golly, he loves Notre Dame. It's bad, dude. Every single time me and my dad were at a game, a home game under Kelly, my dad at some point would say, look at this. And I'm like, what? And he's like, look down at the edge of our bench and our sideline. Look at all those guys standing there that look like me and you. This should never happen in Notre Dame. Get them out of here. The band section's over there. Get these dorks with my body frame off this football team. We should be past that. There should be none of that. I don't even want the long snapper to be a dork with my frame. Too many small, regular-looking white guys around Notre Dame football for too many decades. Get it out of here. I don't want that. My body type running around out there. What are you going to do with that? Beat a junior high? So RKG, Kelly made up that phrase to mean I'm either too lazy or not good enough to go get a lot of guys that are great athletes. We're taking the ones that are good kids that want to be at Notre Dame and are probably not that good. That's what RKG meant. But every single year, my dad would be like, look at all these guys down at the end with helmets and everything that are our size. Why are they here? Why are these small dudes having, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Oh, man. All right. Let's get into a couple things I wanted to cover. The combine results. I want to know if anything surprised you guys. Joe Alt being fast. People saying he might be too tall. I saw a lot. Exactly. No more Rudies. I totally respect what Rudy did and all that. But if you're building a team that has a bunch of guys with that build, you're building your team wrong. I'm sorry. People thought Audric would be a little faster. Yeah, that's the one everybody's going to bring up, and that's on my list. People wanted him to be a little bit faster. Also, I did think it was interesting to see a bunch of people say they think Fisher could move inside to guard. Multiple people I saw that were writing about this were saying, it's a possibility somebody could take him and then move him back inside. Angela Rudiger, I don't blame you. I know what you gotta protect the family jewels. I know. Always hating on Rudy. I'm not hating on him, the individual. I'm hating on his physical skill set and gifts for the sport. Does that make you feel any better? It's like the priest said, man, you got to be thankful for the gifts the good Lord gave you. And guess what, Sonny? Starting at Notre Dame ain't it for you. And that applies for me too. The closest I can get is yelling in my basement and having the AD take swipes at me on the way out of town. Everybody has their lot in life, and mine is having the AD leaving, run his mouth about me and sideswipe me on the way out. Beautiful. That's my lot in Notre Dame life. I'll take it. I'll proudly take it. Yeah, Michael Park says you can have one Rudy, you can't have 20 Rudies. Yeah, that's the problem. Half of that Kelly roster looked like Rudies for a while there. Unbelievable. But I do think it's really interesting to have people speaking about Fisher bouncing inside and being a guard. He needed another year to me. Goolsby, when he watches this film, and I defer to him on that because that's what he does every single day when he has a free minute. When he's watching the film, he's like, bro, he goes, I have not seen where Fisher's gotten like noticeably incrementally better each year. He's like, I just don't see him making these jumps for all the fanfare starting so young. You just didn't see those big jumps in efficiency and efficacy and all that. And so I think he could have used another year. But I think there were a couple little issues on the way out that may have helped accelerate that in different ways. And if you remember some of the things I've been saying about the bowl game, connect the dots. Let's see if anybody remembers. So that interested me. And then here, I'm going to get mad. It's a Monday morning. And I'm going to do it. And I tried not to do it. Here's the deal. Adam says, Always Irish was jealous of that Hartman hair. Certainly, I am jealous of a young, more athletic Michael McDonald from Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers out there. Literally, that's what I picture. If anybody knows who that is, young Michael McDonald in the 80s had that same beard, facial hair thing going on. All right. Here's the deal, though. I'm done with Hartman. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done. I don't want to see him anymore. I don't want to think about him anymore. I don't want to hear about him anymore. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I'm done with the Hartman. I'm done. I'm done. It's not personal. He tried, he came, he did all of it he could, and we lost 3 games anyways, and it failed. Goolsby is right when he says Sam definitely benefited more out of the relationship with Notre Dame than Notre Dame did. And I don't know how you could argue that because we lost 3 games. We lost 3 games. That's not why Hartman was brought in here to lose 3 games. Now, I fully realize that it's not all his fault. We didn't have good wide receiver play. You had an offensive coordinator who didn't know what was going on. I understand there's a lot of reasons that offense didn't achieve as much as we wanted. However, Hartman specifically, I'm done. I'm over it. It's not personal, but I'm done and I'm over it. I'm beyond frustrated with it. It didn't work out. And now I'm just getting annoyed. I'm getting annoyed. And it. Think about this. You want to know why some people don't take Notre Dame football as seriously as we want them to? Do you? Michael McDonald is one of the greats. Yeah, I just picture him at the keyboard. I keep forget we're not in love anymore and taking it to the streets. Anyway, here. Notre Dame fans often get mad. Why don't we get taken as seriously as some of these college football powers and some of that? I see and hear some of that a lot. I feel some of that. Why don't we get taken seriously when this stuff's going on? You know why? I'll give you an example why. I don't understand how so many Notre Dame fans think it's cute to brag on social media all weekend about a guy's hair and a beard and not for how high he's going to be drafted out of Notre Dame. You know, I get it. It's cute. There's Hartman running in slow motion and look at how beautiful he is and all that. Oh, it's like Baywatch running on the beach, the slow motion, and there's Pam Anderson bouncing down the beach and it's beautiful in slow motion. I understand it. But am I the only one in Notre Dame Nation that thought this is freaking pathetic? That all of our people are getting aroused at the guy running and his beard and his hair, and nobody's talking about, look at our good quarterback. Is he going to get drafted number 1 quarterback off the board or number 2 or 3? No, it's all about the guy's hair and his stupid beard, not about how good he is at football. I'm sick of it. That's not what we're here for, to talk about that guy's beard and his hair. The discussion needs to be about how high is our great quarterback getting drafted. No, every single tweet was about his stupid beard and hair. And I'm sick of it. Go away. Go get a big deal somewhere and be a spokesman. Be on commercials. Go start a Michael McDonald cover band. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting I couldn't complete a pass against Clemson. Go do something else. I'm over it. I'm over it. So you can say, I'm no fun. You can say, John, you're a hater. Lighten up. You're taking it too serious. Can't we just enjoy something? Whatever. Okay? I wanted the guy to succeed. I supported his success literally with my own time and money, promoting his NIL event. I literally went out of my way personally, physically to support the guy's success by putting together the event I did, promoting his NIL. Literally, we bought the supplies. We got out there early, did all this to support him. It's nothing personal. I was happy to do it. But spare me. Spare me. Okay? It's embarrassing. Other people are talking about how high is our quarterback going to get drafted. What is Notre Dame talking about? How good that guy's hair looks. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Oh, that's our guy. Look at our guy. Ooh, look at our guy. Ooh, there's Sammy, our guy. Ooh, what? Notre Dame's quarterback is more known for his hair and his beard than how good he is at football. Nobody has a problem with this. I've had enough. Go away. Go be a spokesman. Put him on The Bachelor and have a whole bunch of 42-year-old divorced women addicted to wine chasing him around a pool. I don't care what you do. But I'm starting to get sick of it, okay? I've had enough. I'm over it. I don't care. We tried. It failed. We lost 3 games. And now everybody wants to talk about his hair at the combine. You want to know why some people don't take Notre Dame seriously as a football operation? That's why. Your quarterback is known for his hair and his beard, not winning. I'm done with it. Go away. Go make your money. Go be beautiful and get off my TV. I'm done with it. He was a part of why we beat USC. Cool, but it doesn't matter if you lose 3 other games. It literally doesn't. Like, I appreciate that. A big part of the reason we beat USC. I would also like to add the handful of turnovers was a bigger part of why we beat USC. Let's be honest about that. The handful of turnovers we caused against Caleb was a bigger part of the reason we beat them than that guy, Mike McDonald over there, writing a keyboard song when we're on defense. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. And then, I got to throw a pass. And then he's in a Head and Shoulders commercial. And then he's back there with the Doobie Brothers taking it to the streets. You don't know me, but I'm your brother. I forgot how to throw any passes against Clemson. Bro, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm done. Go away. Go away. We all tried this and we did it genuinely. Go away. I can't take it anymore, man. Our guys need to be known for being good at football, not this other crap. People are saying, oh, John, you're just going after the hair because you're jealous of the guy's hair. Who would be jealous of the guy's hair? Fabio's jealous of the guy's hair. Everybody's jealous of the hair, but that's not the point. I'm just telling you, I had to get off Twitter. I had to get off Twitter. Every single time I open Twitter, there's 90 different people. Oh my God, look at his hair. Look at him run. Who cares? He's not good enough at football. He's not good enough at football, though. And the other thing is, if this was like a bunch of women, if the tweets I saw by the dozen, if they were from women, like, oh man, that's my boyfriend, whatever. Ooh, look at him or whatever. That's different. But our die-hard Notre Dame football male fan base is fanboying at the combine about our guy's hair and beard rather than how good he is at football. You want to know why a lot of people in this country don't take Notre Dame seriously as a football operation. Look at the way Notre Dame fans reacted to that guy's hair, and not that he isn't that great at football. Sorry. If you want to be taken that serious, it's got to be about the football, man. And if he was great at football and at the Michael McDonald, now you're cooking. See, I'm not saying you can't love this at all, but only if he's good. If he's good at football and he's a Michael McDonald model, beautiful, beautiful. But if it's just the good hair and beard and I literally got off Twitter because I couldn't handle it anymore. Just every next tweet, a Notre Dame podcaster, a Notre Dame whatever. Oh my God, look at this. Ooh. There's no meat on the bone, bro. This is just, it's stuff that doesn't matter. Put it in your brain. Notre Dame starting quarterback went to the combine and all anybody's talking about is his looks, not how good at football he is. That sums up what people think. That sums up what a lot of people in this country think of Notre Dame football. That. You want to be taken seriously? You don't react that way. If you want to be taken seriously, it can't be about that. And that's all it was about. That slow motion run right down the beach like Pam Anderson in the beginning of Baywatch. Ooh, look at me go. But you can't complete a pass against Clemson, though, so I don't care about your hair. All right. I'm sorry. Nick Dean says, I love the fact they just got out of the meeting and John's going off about Hartman and his hair. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't handle it. It really was embarrassing. It really was embarrassing because all I hear from Notre Dame fans is we want to be taken more seriously in all this. That's not serious football behavior. It's not serious football behavior. If he was great and had the Mike McDonald, now we're cooking. Then I unleash the ability and think it's just to prop that part up too, but only when the main part of it is being elite. So give the guy the next Bachelor. I'm telling you, that's the perfect thing for Hartman is you make him the next Bachelor. Could you imagine him on The Bachelor with those looks and that smile and all of the 38-year-old on their first divorce wine moms that'll be lining up to get with them? You make him the Bachelor and you have all the promos with his perfect hair and they can show him running in slow motion, whatever. But it ain't football. It ain't football. I keep forgetting how to throw a complete pass. Bro, I just can't deal with it. All right. I need to blow my nose. I need to blow my nose after that one. So here's what we're going to do. John's going to cool off for a minute, blow his nose, get a drink, and we are going to watch a promo from this show's new sponsor. I will be back. This is your intermission. In today's digital age, seamless and secure transactions aren't just a luxury. They're an absolute necessity. That's where Paisley comes in, completely revolutionizing the way businesses handle payments. Whether you're a startup or an established large enterprise, Paisley's cutting-edge payment solutions are designed to propel your business forward. Imagine transactions so smooth your customers barely have to lift a finger. With Paisley, that is your new reality. Our platform offers an array of features from instant processing to ironclad security, ensuring every transaction is not just a transaction, but rather a step towards building long-lasting customer loyalty. Why choose Paisley? We're not just another payment processor. We are your partner in growth, dedicated to providing personalized service that understands and meets your unique business needs. The platform's intuitive, our fees are transparent, and the support team is unmatched and unrivaled. So to all the entrepreneurs, innovators, and dreamers out there looking to elevate their business's payment game, Paisley is the answer. We're more than a platform. We are a movement towards a frictionless financial future. Ready to join us? Visit Paisley.com to learn more or contact Always Irish famous caller Tom Frawley, Chicago's very own, for a personalized Paisley consultation. You can reach Tom at 773-332-7742 or tom@paisleypartners.com. And be sure to mention Always Irish sent you. Woo! Perfect. That was absolutely beautiful. I needed a little break. That was absolutely beautiful. And it's good to be working with Tom. I love Tom. So it's good to have him here. And so, yeah, I needed that little break. So I'm appreciative to be working with Tom on this and get out what we can. Nick Dean, hell yeah, Always Irish sponsor. Congrats, Johnny. Yeah, thank you very much. And I hope you guys can appreciate that that's a part of the journey here, and where you want to get is to be able to take on those kind of people wanted to promote their stuff. And I know you guys will be understanding of that. So Tom and I have been working on some of this for a while, building some things out together. All right. I am letting that go. Oh, ain't that the truth, Mikey Pulls? John needs a Pepto NIL deal. Ain't that the truth? Oh, I'd be the perfect. I could walk people through a Notre Dame weekend. Oh my gosh, they would all understand. Okay. Jay Carr, I thought of this. Gosh, that's weird that you brought that up. John needs to hit up Julio for a haircut during spring game weekend. He'll have him looking like Hartman in no time. I wanted to take that to the next level, Jay Carr. I wanted to go there and interview Julio, talk to him about being the barbershop of the Notre Dame football program, culturally what that means, the bonding, the relationships, the discussions that go on in that environment. And I wanted to go interview him about all that and get my hair cut and do all that while we're doing that. So you're right with my wavelength of something in the offseason I wanted to do to highlight everything that he does and culturally what that all means, being the barber of the program, where guys go to cut loose, hang with the dudes, and get lined up. All right. Yeah. Why does everything have to do with hair? Why does everything have to do with hair? And I promise you guys, this is not because I'm balding and Kelly jump started at 10 years early. It's not just that. Like, I can get over my receding hairline. It's not that. It's just that all of the attention's on that, and none of it's on being good at football. Bro. All right. Let's transition a little bit. I got to get away from that topic before I have a stroke on a Monday. Let's get into some confidence I have in Notre Dame. Some unique confidence, some rare confidence. In a lot of ways, I think I have a little bit more confidence in Notre Dame and the way they're running things and Notre Dame's administration now than I've ever had in the last 30 years. It is still not full confidence. It's nowhere near full confidence, but it is the most confident I am that everybody in the powers that be in Notre Dame are working towards football being good. I have not always felt that. A lot of years I felt like Notre Dame people in power were working against that in some ways. But I really do see them trying to adapt to the changing game in many ways. And they're doing it a little faster than Notre Dame typically moves. Notre Dame's usually really slow to react to certain things. They're moving a little quicker as if they recognize the urgency of the situation. That is a good thing. Freeman gets, Tom, congratulations, man. We did good on that. Freeman gets much credit here for navigating a lot of this behind the scenes. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. John, you're always about how Freeman's a smooth talker, but we lost 3 games. I understand that complaint. He's got to clean it up on the field. You got to play better on the road. All that's true. You got to give Freeman credit, though, for navigating all the behind-the-scenes BS that you have to do to get what you need from the powers that be at Notre Dame. It is not an option. You must be willing and able to play that political game behind the scenes and navigate all of the web and all the BS that goes on. If you don't want to do it or you're not good at doing it, you're not going to succeed at Notre Dame. It's just the way it is. It's always been. The Notre Dame head coach has got to navigate that web appropriately to get anything done. Kelly tried to do it for a while, but it wasn't genuine. It was faked because he knew he had to. And then after a while, he got frustrated and quit faking nice. And then the reality came out, and then they had a stalemate between him and the administration. And then nothing happened, and then he left. Okay, that's what happened. You can't fake this either. You got to be willing and able to navigate all those relationships. This is hard work, and it all happens behind the scenes. You don't get a lot of public credit for it. It doesn't show up on the recruiting rankings. It doesn't do any of that. But behind the scenes, you don't win in Notre Dame football unless you do what you need to do to get in the good graces of all the people with the power. This is not Alabama where you're Nick Saban. You get handed the keys to the whole state and they say, do whatever you want. And we don't care how much it costs and what it looks like. Just win, baby. This ain't that. Freeman deserves that credit. And I understand more wins have to come with it. I'm just saying you don't realize the amount of hoops they have to jump through just to put football in a position to be good at Notre Dame. Kelly quit even trying to do that. It's a big deal. NIL, transfers, better pay for assistants, timing on transfers and getting a guys in or out of school, breaking new ground on the Goog soon. They are listening to Freeman. They are listening to Freeman. That is progress. You cannot succeed at Notre Dame without this. And with Kelly, yeah, Notre Dame should have went out of their way to support him more. But he also did not navigate and play the game right and rubbed a bunch of people the wrong way. And when you do that at Notre Dame, you ain't getting what you need, man. You got to treat these people a certain way and understand the dynamic you're in. You gotta understand it. What is this? Jagabag. Freeman doesn't get it done this year. Look out below. I would like you to put in the chat what you mean by get it done. Give me, and I'm not like criticize. I want to know where your mind is. Let me know what you mean when you say get it done. Does that mean make the playoff is your level that would check the box of getting it done? Or does it have to be you're in the playoff and you win a game or two? Like, I would like to know your definition of getting it done in this context. What is that line? What does that level look like? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, as we're in this period of immense change with Notre Dame football and college football overall, while we're in the middle of this, changing, right? Adapting, getting more modern, whatever we're doing here in college football really fast. You have all that going on. And I was always wondering, you could see those changes were coming. And I know Notre Dame is notoriously slow to change with football trends. They have been the last 30 years. I was thinking if they're slow to trend on all of these things, you're getting left in the dust. You're getting left in the dust. I think we would have already seen the evidence that Notre Dame was not willing to try and compete in this era if that's where it was going. I don't think they'd spend the money they spend on the assistants and locking them up. I don't think they build out a bigger NIL and give Brady Quinn the keys to it if they're not serious about trying to compete. I don't think they go to the Mendoza College of Business or whatever and all this and tell those people, when we're looking at a college football transfer guy, you need to really quickly, like in a day or two, figure out whether that guy can get into your program or not. Not 2 weeks, too late. They have sped that up to where they can get that answer and know if they can wheel and deal with the guy or not. All of these things are evidence that Notre Dame genuinely is trying to do this and move it along and get more modern and do all of that. And Freeman's greasing the wheel, doing the right things, playing the right cards, presenting things the right way. That gives me some confidence. That gives me some confidence here. I'm seeing tangible action by the powers that be that indicate they're trying to keep up here. It would be very, very easy for Notre Dame to have already fallen so far behind with all this stuff. If you didn't have Freeman here, a younger guy totally tied to modern realities, I'm horrified. Even if it was Kelly, man, I'm telling you, Freeman's real modern and real forward thinking and pushing this along and letting Notre. Freeman's got the ability to let the powers that be know in an unassuming way why he needs what he needs and how we all benefit from it if it gets done. Okay? And that is a gift that is immeasurable when you're talking about Notre Dame football. It just is. And so thanks for the $2 holler, Rodney. I appreciate that. They're listening to this guy, trying to give him what he needs to succeed. And that is a big, big deal. I said it over the weekend on the Patreon, the late night one I did where I just free associated. That's scary. And it just feels different this time. It feels like there's a different level of investment from everybody. It feels like more people are pulling from the same end of the football rope and want to see it succeed. It just feels like everybody's more aligned. And it gives me some comfort. And also, you may disagree that this is comforting, but I think it is. Your ultimate plan B, default, pull lever in case of emergency, nightmare scenario, no way to do it the way we're doing it, is going to the Big Ten. And it's a really great landing spot. It's not my preference. I want independence. But if you had to do it, that's your landing spot. And it's a great one. Anytime you could say your plan B includes a more fun schedule that we would like and more money, it's a good plan B. Like, that's your plan B. I don't want to do is making Notre Dame more money and having a more interesting schedule. And that's my plan B. You're in a good spot. Be realistic about it. As much as I hate a lot of the Big Ten and the way they operate some of their teams and everything, for a B spot for your second choice, the Big Ten's a great one. And so knowing that Notre Dame has that as a default insulates them. It insulates them from anything falling apart where Notre Dame's not this big football brand. Rodney, thank you. John Sayon Miyagi have happened for you. I'm telling you, man, I'm sorry, you guys, that I lost it today. Look at this. Blyberg. Does getting John to lose his mind make you feel any better if you're having a crappy morning? His anger and pain takes mine away. I'm glad I serve a purpose here, Blyberg. I'm glad I serve a purpose. I need a new 10, a new saying. Let me have a stroke to save yours. Like, I need a thing. Let me have a heart attack so you don't. Something like that, man. Nobody could say I don't let it hang and give my all here. You get whatever you get from me. Rodney, what's going on? Good morning, brother.
Hey, John, I got to take, hold on.
Okay. Roger Dodger, cheat, steal, lie. It's all legal nowadays, pretty much. I mean,
John, I had you on YouTube as I put something in.
Oh, what's going on, man? Good morning on a Monday.
Dude, I tell you, isn't that like modern technology? I literally typed it exactly how the quote is. Miyagi have hope for you. And somehow Google changes it to Miyagi has happened for you.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Right. I thought that was weird. I'm like, I know what he's trying to say. We'll blame Google. We'll blame Google.
Typing it, and it literally said hope. It said hope. But then as soon as I clicked on the send, change it to happened. It's like, oh, great. Ruined my super chat. Thanks a lot, Google. Appreciate you.
Oh, man. Anyway. Rodney, what do you make of any of this? Do you have any reactions to the combine? Do you think I overdid it by yelling about Hartman's Michael McDonald-like appearance? Do you agree with me that Notre Dame seems to be all on kind of more on the same page of supporting football than they've been recently? We could go to any of these topics you wish, my friend.
Yeah, man, I was, mildly, watching. I was actually more interested in, because, once the Notre Dame players are gone, I like to see them play well. I like to see them do well. It gives me pride that show all, even though it makes really no difference as an offensive lineman. even really for down the field blocks, you're not really running fast when you're trying to block people. You're just trying to push them away.
Yeah, it's just a
little bit of
thing.
pride that
Yeah, it's just a thing. It's a thing that everybody wants to look good. But yeah, I'm with you.
I'm much more curious about some of the. I didn't watch a lot of it, man, or hear a lot of it. I mean, it was literally right across the street from where I work down here in Indy. But I heard Caleb wasn't overly impressive. Am I correct in that?
I mean, it sounds like he didn't want to do much, right? Isn't that the report that he didn't want to do medical and he didn't want to do much? And he's just kind of saying, I'm just doing my thing and you take it or leave it. Rodney, the big question I have is, man, being in the Chicago market and understanding how the Bears have operated my whole life, being the team by me here, Rodney, they are a very unique fit to take on Caleb Williams and all that comes with him. That organization is uniquely an uncomfortable fit because of the way they operate, the mom and pop, family thing. They're not a big brand, big business. That's their only business. They don't have like oil money or anything. It's just the Bears, and it's this mom and pop operation. And they usually have Bears quarterbacks that mind their P's and Q's, and they're low-key guys. Mitch Trubisky, low-key. Even Justin Fields, low-key guy, not making a lot of waves, low-key dude. That's their type since Jim McMahon. Of course, look at what he did when he had a wild man. But since then, they've been real mild and that type of thing. Caleb's not like that. Caleb has a lot of diva. Caleb's going to bring certain baggage, and he's going to do things his way. Are the Bears equipped to be able to handle that type of player that is going to be the face of Chicago? Because I don't trust them to handle it the right way based on 30 years of evidence. That's what's in my mind about that.
It's almost like, don't you kind of feel, John, like whatever they choose to do, it's going to be the wrong move? Like if they don't draft Caleb, Caleb's going to turn out to be Mahomes 2.0. But if they do draft Caleb Williams, he's going to turn out to be, name a first.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say they can make the right decision and still be disappointed with the results because it's the Bears and nobody trusts them to develop guys. I could see this going two ways.
John, this is why. Okay, tell me what you think.
Okay, I could see it going. I could see it going two ways. If they take him, if they take Williams, and it goes well, and they get some other talent with the haul. Maybe they trade Fields to Atlanta like they're talking. They get more guy. Maybe they get a great couple receivers and an offensive tackle. I don't know. Whatever they do, if it goes well, Caleb's going to be so loved in Chicago because of that smile and the Hollywood thing and all that, and it's going to go great. But if it starts going bad, that's where I see a major problem. You already know Caleb doesn't like talking to the media when he loses. He wants to leave. Like he's going to pout, and you're not going to be able to get away with that in the Chicago market. If it goes bad, it's going to be entertaining because it's going to go real bad because the Chicago market isn't one where you can shy away from the camera if you had a bad week. And that's what he has a history of being able to do. Ooh, baby, this is going to be interesting. I'm here for the intrigue, Rodney. The Bears don't break my heart, so I'm here for the intrigue.
No, and I'm with you on that. They don't break my heart either at all. I mean, I'm just exactly like you, man. I mean, I like the Bears. I watch them anytime I can, unless I'm working or something, But they just don't move the needle for me. I suppose if they got real good again for a while, that would probably, like back in the 85 years, mid 80s, I do remember crying when I was like 80 in 86 when they lost to the Washington Redskins. My dad was laughing at me because he was more intense than I was. He goes, Rodney, you don't understand. This used to be the Bears all the time. This is like the Bears of old, And I was sitting there crying because they lost. Anyway, though, what I kind of think, man, here's the feeling I get. I think Caleb Williams is going to turn out to be Cam Newton, which means he's probably going to have a couple great years, but they don't win the Super Bowl, and then he goes, an injury or whatever, and he's no longer the same. I know it's like I don't know. I think you keep Justin Fields because what can we trust in, man? But just like you said, we can't trust in quarterbacks in Chicago. What we can trust in is defense, special teams, and of that ilk. So I'm now of the opinion you do what has worked in the past. And
I think Fields is out of here.
Defense.
I think Fields is out of here.
Yeah,
I think that decision's
right.
been done.
Right.
I think that decision's been made.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I'm just saying, if it were me, I would draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I would build that deep, or Joe Alt, someone like that, protect them, get a great receiver, and then just absolutely keep building that defense. That's just me, because I think that's what you can trust in Chicago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it just seems like with certain teams or organizations, it just seems like there's like almost like I don't know, like the universe just doesn't allow them to have certain things, but absolutely allows them to have others. And it just seems like in Chicago, it just doesn't seem to work with the quarterback for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. They're probably going to draft them.
It's going to be really interesting. I'm here for the journey, and it's going to be a wild ride. And I know the way I listen to that AM sports radio in Chicago, and those Bears fans are going to lose their minds at all of the little Caleb Williams things. The Bears fans are just not used to this. This is a whole different breed of cat that the Bears fans are not used to. It is going to be an adjustment. I'm here for it. It's going to be super interesting. And I don't care either way. It's not going to ruin my life.
I hope he's great, and I hope he adjusts to the NFL well, and maybe he will. You know? I mean, like I said, I've heard some things behind the scenes. He's a better person than what you see, or maybe what his perception is.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I'm glad to hear that.
I saw that too, that his teammates all say he's a great leader and all those things. I heard all that too. It's just, there's going to come things with this. The Bears are not usually good at handling, is my point. They're just not.
Yeah. No, but you're right, though, John. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. Because I will say, the new GM regime, I know it's still owned by the McCaskies or whatever. The new GM regime, the guys that are making those are better than what we've had in the past. I do believe that. So I do think there is a little more care for winning than what we've had, and and as opposed to just pinching pennies. So I'll give them that. So it's going to be absolutely fascinating. Yeah, man. I was saying this earlier, man. The Steely Dan song, the Fez.
Yeah.
That is, you listen to that song, it sounds like you're saying Faison. And that's going to be Faison's theme song, man, when he's in Notre Dame, when he's catching touchdowns, man.
Telling you, that guy has a little bit of an it factor.
Guys.
He's got a little bit of an it factor there, man. He's wiggly. That guy just has a knack for what you need out of that position. It's beautiful to see. And so what do you got? Was there a bunch of action over the weekend? Was Indy crazy with all the combine stuff, or what? What was it like down there?
No, it wasn't, man. No, it wasn't. You think it was. I mean, it was kind of all spread out, over the, I thought there, and even All-Star weekend, man, there was a little bit of a slight disappointment from some of the people in the industry here, in the bar and restaurant industry that I was talking to about that too. There wasn't it was a little bit watered down or spread thin because it was kind of everywhere. But the big one for us is like the fire department when their convention comes in. It's a madhouse there, man. Wow. A madhouse. But anyway, switching from the quarterback. I know we talked about it, but going from the Bears quarterback to Notre Dame quarterback. I mean, dude. I mean, going back a couple years, do you realize, John, just how? And granted, we haven't seen Carr yet, we haven't seen Douche yet, Knight yet. But I think I said Douche. I meant Douche, guys. Douche, not Douche.
That's an easy. You're sending two very different messages depending on which one of those you say. Very yeah. You got to be careful. That's funny.
No, but the whole, Leonard, Angeli, Minchie, Carr,
interesting,
Knight,
isn't it?
Those five. It's such an upgrade, man. It's such an upgrade.
Yeah, and that's not even debatable. Not even debatable. Major upgrade.
Part of that old. Yeah, but Angeli has proven I don't know. I know it's only been a game we've seen him play, but he just looks different out there, doesn't he, man? He looks like a more confident leader than Pine or Buckner was, doesn't he? I mean, I'm just saying if it was Angeli. Anyway,
yeah, there's
really,
comfort.
Really excited.
He seems pretty comfortable and confident out there. Not like he's running around trying to figure out what to do. He's pretty confident, but it's a big
like
spring.
He's got that it factor.
It's a big spring, man. Rodney, a lot of times we enter spring ball and there are zero Notre Dame quarterbacks I'm interested in seeing because I know whatever it is isn't going to be good enough, even with the starter. Many of these years I went there going, how bad are we going to be? I genuinely want to see all 4 quarterbacks, and I've never said that in my life. Very rarely is there even 2 that I'm interested in at all. Notre Dame's flipped that room with higher level potential and higher floors and ceilings. And I, for one, am here for it, and I'm going to be there for it that day with all you fine people.
Well, that's what's so cool about it, John. This is a Notre Dame blue gold game that's actually going to be fun to watch because you're basically going to be seeing, probably you got, however it's going to break down, but all 4 quarterbacks are going to play probably against each other. You're going to see probably Leonard against Angeli and then Minchie against Carr, or however it's going to work, where each one gets a half or whatever. There's going to be a lot of action out there. And yeah, man, it's like, this is one of the few times where I'm going to go to the game, not just for the, just for the pride of being a Notre Dame fan and wanting to see certain players do it. I'm going to be going there wanting to watch how these quarterbacks handle the line of scrimmage, how they handle the calls, the audibles. Granted, you're going to see a lot more of that when you get the fall, when you got more of the playbook. But man, I can't tell you how interesting this. Yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch the game. Yeah. I hope they make it more of a game format this time because I know they've kind of scaled away from that a little bit. Obviously, I don't want to see a bunch of guys getting hurt. That's not what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I hope it's more of almost like a game,
Yeah, so, there's real intrigue. And the other reason I'm excited about this is because I feel like this is really the first opportunity to really be able to see this Notre Dame team and program look and feel genuinely different. And I really want to see that. I want to see it like we're turning a corner with the talent. I really want to see that. So I'm really excited about it. There's a lot I want to see. Can't wait.
Yeah, me too, man. Look, that's all I got for you today, man. 420. Just hope the weather's good.
Beautiful.
Can't wait. And just so you know, on the out, John, congratulations on your business partner. I had a cat named Paisley.
It works out perfect. It works out perfect. Yeah, no, that's beautiful, man. Tom's a good guy. We've been cooking on this for a while, and we got some other things cooking too, man. I like finding like-minded Notre Dame people, and there's a trust there when the foundation is loving Notre Dame. Like you have a trust there, and we've been working on it. So thank you, man. We got things cooking. Where'd he go? I didn't hang up on you, Rodney. I don't know where he went. He's gone. I didn't hang up on you, buddy. I'm sorry. You either cut out or hung up on me. Roger Dodger says, the Caleb hate is ridiculous. Should he care less for losing? No. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I want the quarterback to be devastated when they lose a game. But the mature response for a guy who wants to be an NFL quarterback is, we lost a big game. I am the leader. I am the captain. I am the quarterback. I am the Heisman winner. I'm going to be probably the first pick in the draft. I am the one who's made, depending on where you look, $8 to $10 million in NIL money in LA. If you are all of those things, when you lose a big game, the least you could do is sit in the media room and address questions. That is the respectful thing to do. I will fight anybody as long as it takes to prove me wrong on that. Okay? That's not cool. That's not okay. And I blame Lincoln Riley for this. For coddling and protecting. Oh, we lost? Well, you don't have to go see the media. I'll cover for you. It's a weak move. Lincoln Riley's job is to develop these guys to be responsible, respectful young men as they enter their careers and whatever they're doing. Is that not the job of every college coach? What lesson are you teaching that if you lose and it doesn't go your way, you don't have to face the media? It's cowardly. It makes you look like a sore loser. It makes you look like you can't take the heat when things don't go your way. Do you think CW has a problem interacting with the media? Well, yes and no. When things are going well, he's great with the media. And then when it doesn't go well, he's nowhere to be found. So yes and no. Every time you see him with the media, it's when something good's happening. So do I think he has a problem? I need to see him up there when you turn the ball over a million times and lose to Notre Dame. I need to see you as the leader and the captain take the questions and say, we didn't play good enough, and it starts with me because I'm the quarterback making $8 million in NIL. I think he has a responsible obligation to be at that table as the quarterback and the leader of the program. I just think it doesn't show well. You've got to understand how that comes off not well. It makes you look like a front runner. And nobody likes a guy who only wants to talk when it goes good and you're all smiles and we're all joking with the media. It was not Williams asking to skip it. So you're telling me that your new head coach that everybody was so happy to get is the one encouraging this cowardice? Unbelievable. Like, that is not how this is supposed to go, bro. It's not how it's supposed to go. It was, so you're telling me Lincoln Riley said you just threw a boatload of turnovers to Notre Dame. You don't have to go out there today. It's just weak. That's weak. It's immature. Yes, Riley's the head coach. I'm going to tell you this right now. You're never going to see that at Notre Dame. It would be such a big story that the head coach protected the starting quarterback who lost by not making him go face the media. That would be front page news forever. It's like out of my mind. That's so far removed from how this goes. It's sickening. So whatever. You want to coddle him. You want to protect him. You want to do all this. Again, all you're doing is making it worse. Yeah, Riley didn't have a single player for the postgame. Then I even think less of him than I did 2 seconds ago. There you go. You just made it worse. Now, whatever I thought of him, I think even less. And if I'm that quarterback and I'm that leader and I know how this is going to look, I'm telling him, I'll go out there. I'm not afraid of this. You're telling me Caleb, who's making 8 to 10 million in NIL, doesn't have the power to go? I'm the quarterback. Let me go out there and handle this and say we messed up. So I'm just saying, if you're looking at the downside of this, that comes to mind. I will even say that bothers me more than the fingernails. That's more of like an in-game competitive, chirpy confidence thing. Yeah, I made a big deal of it because I'm a Notre Dame guy and I do content. You can't expect me not to make a big deal of the fingernails. But I'm way more worried about that media thing than I am the fingernails. It's just a red flag because there is no escaping the Chicago media market. There is no escaping the Chicago media market. So if your thing was getting out of that when things don't go well or whatever, dude, you're going to have a big learning curve here. You're going to have a big learning curve here. Caleb can't overrule the head coach. If he literally said, we lost and none of you could talk to the media, what a loser. What a front-running little baby. That is weak. Beta. That's beta activity. That is weak. That is cowardice. That is humiliating. All the money those people are making. But I blame Caleb too. If I'm that Eisman guy, I'm telling him I'm going out there anyways. I'm saying, I know what this looks like. I'm a big boy and I can handle it. Roger, what is the reason? What is the reason that he didn't make them go out there? Roger, you're with me here. You're responding to what I'm saying as the USC guy here. What is the reason that Lincoln Riley didn't have any players go out? I'll wait. I genuinely don't know. As a USC fan, type in here, what is the reason he didn't make any players go talk to the media? From a USC, Riley was embarrassed, I think. You got to own it. You got to own it. Like, that's a fair answer, but you got to own it. You got to own it. And you got to sit up there as the head coach and the quarterback, the face of the university, take those shots and go, we all need to get better. That's all you got to do. And you don't even have to give good answers, Roger. That's the thing, Dodger. You don't even have to give genuine, real good answers in the presser. You've all seen it when a team loses and the quarterback's sitting up there and they're zoned out and they don't want to be there and they're miserable and these pain in the ass media's asking them questions. You just say canned responses. It starts with me. I'm the quarterback. We all need to do a better job and clean it up. That's all you had to say. That's the other part of this. That's the other part of this. You don't even need to really say much at all. It's the appearance of this rubs people the wrong way. And so that's where I'm at on it. And if he goes to Chicago, oh buddy, you ain't going to get away with any of these moves. So I would be interested in it. But I just think it's a missed leadership opportunity from Lincoln Riley. That is a beta move. That is the opposite of what you should. All of the values of like being a college coach, that works against creating young men that can adapt in the real world, how to face adversity, how to overcome things, how to, if you're a leader, how to represent for your old group and do all of those big picture things you would want a coach to teach. This is demonstrating the opposite of run from your problems. When things don't go well, you don't have to face them. Doesn't matter if you're the leader, you can still hide. If you're the 80th guy on the roster or Caleb Williams, you can hide either way. All of the messaging's bad. All of the messaging's bad. So whatever, man. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but it's very interesting. I want him to go to the Bears for intrigue. That I really do. It'd be really interesting. So I don't know. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Man, we went around the block today. And I'm going to have to go. I might have to cut up that Mike McDonald Hartman segment because that was a hot one. So I might have to do that. Do I think Lincoln gets hired by the Bears? No. He's making too much money out in LA. They're not going to do that. You'd want to be the head guy. Believe me, USC fans don't think so highly of Riley anymore either. Our honeymoon's over. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I understand a lot of momentum was lost when the second half of that season fell apart. All right, you guys, really entertaining show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for calling. Thanks for getting me worked up. Couple of super chats. I appreciate you. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys.